1045 The Team, 1045theteam.com. In studio right now, a very special guest, Schenectady High School graduate, 2002 professional basketball player overseas, a standout at UMass, a Capital Region hoop legend. It is Rashaun Freeman. Rashaun, thanks for being with us.
Thanks. Nice to be here.
So you have been playing overseas now for 9 years, huh? And it's like
9 years. It seems like it was 2.
It's a laundry list of places. Where have you played since you left college here in the States?
Oh, man. I've go down the list. I played in France for 2 years, Germany, Belgium, Israel for 2 years, China for 2 summers, Puerto Rico, Bosnia, Argentina, Uruguay. That's right next to Argentina. The list goes on and on.
Now, you won the Uruguay Championship. You were the finals MVP. What was that experience like for you? Because that was the most recent place you were.
Yeah, to be honest with you, it was an out-of-body experience because it's almost like you play Division I basketball and you never get a chance to play in like the NCAA tournament, or you play professional somewhere, whether it's football, basketball, whatever have you, and you never get a chance to experience that level of success. So to experience that this year was so unreal because I've been playing for 9 years and I haven't even been on a team that could have competed. Like I had some good years individually and I was playing on some good teams, but as far as having a chance to win a championship, I never had the opportunity to do that. So it was one of the greatest feelings I've ever had to experience.
Now, that wasn't the only championship you won. You won a state championship at Schenectady High School back in 2001. What do you remember about that Patriots team?
Oh man, I was telling you before we started filming, it was like a whole bunch of talent and Schenectady, as far as sports go, man, we were hitting from every angles, man. Our cheerleaders was even the best, man. It was unreal. But that was a different situation because when we came together and we was playing ever since we were in 6th grade all the way up to 12th grade, we grew up with each other. We went through our ups and downs and things like that. And Schenectady's a small town. So to achieve something like that and with Mark Sawsville leading the way, and Jason McCreef and Saquon Young, Adonis, the list goes on. Us being able to come together and achieve that was unreal. We were ranked number 1 in New York State. I think we were 10th or 5th in the country. It was just unreal. But that and playing on a professional level was a totally different movie. You know what I mean? Because the obstacles and the pressure of being a professional is a lot deeper.
Yeah, what was that learning experience like? Because there's 2 different stories to hearing when people play overseas. You hear the horror stories about the guys who don't get paid, who are in dangerous situations, and then you hear about the Americans that go overseas and they're revered and people love them. Absolutely. What has your experience been like?
Absolutely. My experience was a up and down experience because coming out of the University of Massachusetts, it was almost like that was my safety net. I played well as a freshman. I was well known. They were recruiting players to build around me. That was my house, and everything was, everything came easy to me there. But to play on a professional level and to go overseas, and every year you're playing for a different coach, you're playing with different players, your agent is trying to put you in the best spots. And just like you said, overseas sometimes they don't tell you the horror stories, playing for coaches that don't necessarily want you there. The GM wanted you there, he didn't want you there, or playing for a team that signs you for a certain amount of money and they don't even have half of that and you're not getting paid, and the situation living being bad. I went through ups and downs. I can't say it was almost 50-50. I played in real great situations and I played in some situations that was so bad I questioned the game of basketball. So, coming out of college, they don't really tell you if you're good enough to play overseas. They don't really, your agent wants you to sign with them, they don't really tell you about those stories. They just tell you that it's a great way of life. It's tax-free money and different things like that. But I experienced both sides of it. Now,
before we got on the air, you told me you wanted to play for 3 more years. Why 3 more years? And what do you want to do in your post-basketball life?
I always set goals for myself, realistic goals. And I feel as though, with me being around athletes and things like that, we think because we love the game of basketball that it lasts forever. But it really doesn't, because you can get injured and it could be gone tomorrow. So I set a realistic goal. I've playing for 9 years, and I set my goal for 3 more years. God promised me 3 more years. So within that time, I'm going to push myself to the limit, try to stay healthy and focused, and just try to maximize these last 3 years.
What is it that you want to do after?
I thought when I first started that I was going to do something that had to do with basketball, but the ways my life went and like my struggles and trials and tribulations, I feel as though it's going to be definitely to help people outside of basketball, because to be honest, like a lot of kids are, struggling right now and they're not even into sports. Like the last thing they want to do is see a basketball court or football court. Like they're dealing with real issues. And I feel as though with a platform that I have, and feel as though I can help those kids that, that don't play basketball, help them through their problems and different things that they go through on a daily basis. And I feel as though after I play, it's going to be catered to that, like helping kids and mentoring, like a big brother type program and things like that. It's obviously different things as far as different incomes that I want to do, but like my eye is real set on really reaching out to kids and helping them.
104.5 The Team. We're in here again. Rashaun Freeman, Schenectady High School legend, UMass legend, 4-time first team All-Conference in the Atlantic 10, played 9 years professionally. And Rashaun, you were talking about wanting to reach kids and wanting to reach youth, and you're starting with that here in your home area of Schenectady. And we were talking off the air. You told me that you've overcome a lot of struggles in your life and overcome a lot of obstacles. What are some of the things that you're trying, like what are some of the messages you're trying to get out? How can you tell your story to help these kids?
Earlier on in my career, coming out of UMass, it was like my safety net. Everything was easy. But when you become a professional, and I don't want to just say that it's all about sports, because there's people that don't want to play sports and like they do other things. Like they want to be a doctor, they want to be a lawyer, they want to go through different things. And like my story can relate with anyone, that goes through struggles, and like they might be a little bit mature or not ready for certain things. But, coming out of school, as far as me wanting to play in the NBA or playing overseas, it was a lot of blessings that, God wanted to give me. And at that time, I wasn't prepared enough to receive them. So, year after year, I would be blessed with a good situation. And as soon as it got bad, because, it's tough overseas and leaving home and your family and things like that, as soon as it got bad, I would automatically call my agent and let them know that this situation wasn't for me. And I would have to, and I would automatically just brush myself from that situation. And because of that, I was put through bad situations, and leading up to me having probably my dream season with the right team, the right money, the right organization, I had the worst season of my life. I was actually in Russia, and I just feel as though because of all the blessings that I wasn't mature enough to receive, he put me through the toughest situation of my life. And it was almost like I was at the point to where like I knew I had a little bit more time to play, and I wanted my dream job. I wanted to experience success on a high level. So he put me through the worst situation possible. I was playing for a coach that was prejudiced. He didn't want me there. I wasn't getting paid on time. Russia, like you hear all the stories about Russia. Well, I'm gonna tell you, they're all true. You know what I mean? Like it's cold. The people are cold. I'm not gonna sit here and say that all of the people were, negative and things like that, because like there was a group of people that, that was like supporting me through it and things like that. But I went through a lot, and I questioned the game of basketball. If this is something that I wanted to do, I was actually real sick at one point, and I couldn't tell my family, because when you're away from home, it's certain things you don't want to tell your family because they're gonna worry about you, what's gonna make it worse for you. So it was a lot of things that I was going through on the court and off the court. And one thing I told myself was that I know I'm being tested. I know that God has a plan for me and that he wants me to overcome this so I can receive my dream job. You know what I mean? So kids have to understand that, you're going to be blessed with things, but you can't be the wall that stops you from getting to where you want to be. Like you have to understand, like from hearing my story, you have to understand that, if you mature at a young age and you fight through tough times, you don't have to go through what I went through. You know what I mean? And it's real important because I didn't quit and I made it through that, and I actually ended up finishing the season off strong. Our team was doing well. My coach seen that I had a hard work ethic and that he was judging me and he didn't really know me, so now we have a great relationship. So everything that I went through, turned out to be good in that situation in Russia because I didn't give up. And that's the message that I want to give out. We never know exactly what is out there for us. You know, we're just going to be faced with different obstacles, and we have the option to give up and settle for something less, or to continue to fight and make it through. And that's what I did. And, you know, and I'm a living testimony that if you continue to work hard through all the tough times, that it's good days ahead of you.
Rashaun Freeman, Schenectady native, professional basketball player overseas, coming off the Uruguay Championship, Finals MVP, getting ready to go out again this year as well. Rashaun, I want to hit you with a couple rapid-fire questions. You've played in all these different places. What was the coolest place you ever played? Like, what was your favorite place? What was the best place?
My best place by far was Israel, you know, because leading up to going to Israel, you know, I had real good offers in Israel, but I always turned them down because I didn't hear any good things about it. But as my professional career progressed, you know, I would hear different things like, why are you turning down deals from Israel? It's the most Americanized country. Everybody speaks English. The food, the culture, the weather is great. Like, so I went there, you know, optimistic on everything that I heard and things, and I got there and I realized it was totally different than what I thought. You know what I mean? Like, they can relate to Americans because a lot of you know, Jewish people, like, they're all around the world. So when we go there, like they understand like our way of life, and it was just a great situation. Like the competition level was good. You know, like, they're real professional when it comes to money. It was just a great situation, and that's actually where I wanted to end my career. But you know, like, if you like, you don't know where your career is going to take you, but that was one of the places where I really wanted to, like, you know, be settled and stay there for as long as I can.
Who was the best player you ever played against in Section 2?
The best player I've ever played, probably Emmanuel Maben. He lived in Troy. I mean, he was
Tiki.
Yeah, he was phenomenal. You know, like he was better than probably he thought he. You know what I mean? Like, because I've played and seen a lot of basketball players on every level now, and I know he's probably one of the best guards I've ever played against. I actually played. I was one of the reasons why he decided to go to UMass for the 1 year, because like we played together in high school AAU with the Albany City Rocks, and you know when he decided to come to UMass and play with me, like I was a senior, so we only got to play with each other for 1 year. But I mean, he's by far, because as far as like his court vision and like his basketball knowledge, I mean, hands down. You know what I mean?
Now you're working over at you're going to be at Proctor's Theater. You're putting on a documentary. Do we know a date for that yet?
We don't have a date. We're just trying to get the most footage, and we're trying to get as much information as possible. I'm trying to get footage from high school. I'm getting footage from college. You know, as we speak right now, like this is being edited. Like we're trying to put together as much as we can so we can you know, so the youth of Schenectady and Albany can see it. Well, Troy, all the youth in the area can see it, and maybe my story can help them.
All right. Rashaun Freeman, Schenectady High School product, UMass, 4-time first-team all-conference selection in the Atlantic 10, professional overseas for 9 seasons, and hopefully 3 more healthy seasons overseas as well.
Absolutely,
Rashaun,
yeah.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.